Today, we have two top stories for you. First, the U.S. Department of Homeland Security has moved to amend visa regulations for foreign students and journalists. According to a government notice, the new final rule would create a fixed time period for F visas for international students, J visas that allow visitors on cultural exchange programs to work in the United States, and I visas for members of the media. Those visas are currently available for the duration of the program or U.S.-based employment. The move is subject to congressional review before an effective date can be determined. We will continue to follow this story and provide updates as more information becomes available. In other news, the Trump administration has increased scrutiny of legal immigration, revoking student visas and green cards of university students over their ideological views and stripping legal status from hundreds of thousands of migrants. Under the new regulation, the student and exchange visa periods would be no longer than 4 years. The visa for journalists, which currently can last years, would be up to 240 days or, in the case of Chinese nationals, 90 days. Visa holders could apply for extensions. We'll be right back with more of today's top news on Barbara's Bulletin. Welcome back to Barbara's Bulletin. We're diving into the complex and escalating situation in the Middle East, where tensions between the U.S. and Iran continue to rise. The Strait of Hormuz, a critical waterway for global oil and gas shipments, has been at the center of the conflict. Iran has declared the strait a red line and vowed to resist U.S. attacks until the end, threatening severe retaliation if its infrastructure is targeted. The U.S. launched strikes and a naval blockade aiming to reopen the strait and weaken Iranian military capabilities. Iran's army spokesman, Brigadier General Mohammad Akhramenia, stated that the Islamic Republic has the ability to exert control over the Strait of Hormuz from every point of its territory. The U.S. strikes have also targeted Iranian military capabilities that the Americans want to destroy before executing more complex operations. The situation is further complicated by Iran's threats to shut off more regional energy exports and possibly strike regional infrastructure, raising the specter of a return to full-scale war in the region. Analysts say Iran may use its Houthi allies in Yemen to shut the Bab el-Mandeb gateway to the Red Sea, opening a new front against Washington and putting a second of the world's most vital energy arteries at risk. It's essential to note that the conflict has already resulted in significant human suffering, with thousands killed and millions displaced, mainly in Iran and Lebanon. As the situation continues to unfold, it's crucial for all parties involved to prioritize diplomacy and work towards a peaceful resolution. The U.S. and Iran have a complex history, and understanding the nuances of their relationship is vital to grasping the current conflict. The 14-point Memorandum of Understanding signed in June has been cited as a potential starting point for negotiations, but its implementation remains uncertain. As we continue to monitor the situation, it's clear that the consequences of this conflict will be far-reaching, with potential impacts on global energy markets and regional stability. We'll keep a close eye on developments and provide updates as more information becomes available. Welcome back to Barbara's Bulletin. As we wrap up today's show, let's dive into a fascinating conversation about voter perceptions on corruption and politics. A recent focus group with swing voters in Pennsylvania shed some light on how these key voters feel about President Trump's financial dealings while in office. The discussion revealed a mix of opinions, with some participants expressing concern over the president's significant wealth increase during his term, while others seemed unfazed. Some voters, like Todd, a 62-year-old independent, felt that corruption is inherent in politics and that Trump's behavior is simply typical for a businessman-turned-politician. On the other hand, Bhavana, a 54-year-old independent voter, saw Trump's earnings as an abuse of power and a moral problem. These differing perspectives highlight the complexities of voter attitudes towards corruption and the challenges of navigating the nuances of political ethics. The focus group also touched on the issue of transparency regarding politicians' health, with most participants believing that representatives should be required to disclose information about their health if they are absent for extended periods. Additionally, the group discussed the ongoing conflict with Iran, with many voters expressing uncertainty about the president's ability to bring the war to a close by the end of the year. As we consider these varied perspectives, it's essential to recognize that voter opinions are shaped by individual experiences, values, and beliefs. By engaging in open and respectful dialogue, we can work towards a deeper understanding of the issues that matter most to our communities. That's all for today's Barber's Bulletin. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, stay engaged.